A report has found that the state's way of handling teacher misconduct can be murky. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania has joined a multi-state lawsuit to bar the sale of 23andMe's genetic data. Here's the worst city for grass allergies in the state. And a guitar that was stolen from a classic rock band has been found. I'm Claudia DeMuro, and you're listening to Today in PA. Under current state law, the Pennsylvania Department of Education is supposed to, quote-unquote, immediately suspend the certifications of teachers charged with certain crimes, reports the Philadelphia Inquirer. But after reviewing the state's disciplinary actions against teachers, the Inquirer found that the way it handles educator misconduct can be a bit, quote, murky, unquote, at times. For one, the state, which has the authority to discipline anyone with a teaching license, which includes the suspension or revocation of said license, provides the public with an explanation as to why a teacher has been disciplined in an online database, but the hundreds of complaints filed each year are all confidential, as are records related to investigations by the Education Department. It's also not always clear what the teacher misconduct was. The state has also failed multiple times in notifying a school of a teacher's arrest. Many have found all of this concerning, especially despite the fact the state is supposed to immediately suspend licenses in cases of sort of misconduct. It can take more than a year for the suspension to happen. One teacher at the People for People charter school in Philadelphia, for example, was charged with attempted homicide in February 2022 and didn't have his license suspended until March 2023. Another Chester High School teacher and coach was charged with sexually assaulting minors in July 2023 and didn't receive a license suspension until August 2024, over a year later. Said Professor Carol Shakeshaft, quote, "We need to not get bogged down in bureaucracy and respond." Pennsylvania has joined a lawsuit with 25 other states to bar 23andMe from selling personal genetic data without consumer consent, reports Philly Voice. In an update to a story this podcast has covered previously, this lawsuit, filed Monday, is trying to prevent the auctioning off of this data, which is the private data from 15 million people, in bankruptcy court. This data, according to the suit, is too sensitive to be sold without consent. A court-appointed independent review will determine the future of the sale and how it might impact consumer privacy. And the worst city in Pennsylvania for grass allergies is state's PennLive, Philadelphia. Yes, according to a Law and Love study covering this topic, Philadelphia ranked 12th overall as the worst city for such grass allergies in the nation. So if you're in Philly and feel like you've been sneezing a whole lot more lately, you're not wrong. It's recommended that you track your local pollen and wind forecast as some of the ways to mitigate allergy symptoms. Redding, California, by the way, was ranked as the absolute worst city in this regard. Classic rock band Heart had set up for a recent show in Atlantic City when they noticed 2 of their instruments had been stolen, says CBS Local Philadelphia. Fortunately, one of these instruments, a purple Telecaster guitar made specially for Nancy Wilson, was found and on its way to getting returned. The guitar was stolen by one Garfield Bennett, who then sold it to an as-of-yet unidentified woman. Still missing is a Gibson mandolin as of the recording of this episode. That wraps up today's episode. For even more news, drop by PennLive.com. Also, please remember to rate this podcast and to email me at todayinpa@PennLive.com with any thoughts you may have. Thanks ahead of time, and of course, thanks for listening. I'm Claudia DeMuro, and tomorrow's another day of Today in PA.